Hey guys, and welcome. Today we received our first look at the Exodus short film that was showcased and teased around a week or two ago now, and yeah, it was amazing. It blew me away completely, and it gives us so many new details around the Battlefield 2042 storyline and where they're going to go with it and the direction they're taking the story, along with what the Notepats are actually like. Yeah, anyway, we're going to break down this short film for you guys in this video and go through every single detail from this short film, literally not missing out a single thing. So this video might be a little bit longer than typical, but it's going to give you as much information as you need, and it's going to basically just break down everything that you need to know about this trailer. Yeah, it's going to be quite a long one, guys, but I'd like to hit a like goal of at least 20 likes on this video. So guys, I'd much appreciate it if you go down below and drop a like right now. This video took quite a while to make, and I'm quite hyped about Battlefield 2042, as I'm sure many of you guys are. So yeah, without further ado, guys, let's get straight into it. Irish was sent to retrieve intel from an informant in a specific location which looks to be within the UK, specifically London. He's suddenly shot in the head, and the meetup has obviously been ambushed. However, as dialogue progresses, it does seem that Irish doesn't actually know what this device is or the contents of this device. Very strange though that a leader of a NOPAT faction doesn't know what he's been sent to retrieve or get, which to me was a bit strange when looking back on this. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. Irish retrieves the device and walks over to finish off the ambusher, but then he realizes who the ambusher was. It was his ex-squad mate and fellow soldier, Pack, or Pakowski, from Battlefield 4. Obviously really confused at the time as to why Pack is trying to ambush this meeting, Irish returns back to the Exodus ship with Pack on a speedboat to patch him up any gun wounds that he might have or that Irish might have inflicted on him during the retrieval of the device and the ambush. Irish visits Pack on the ship whilst he's handcuffed to a bed to prevent him from getting out and causing any further trouble. Irish enters the room and Pack instantly calls him a traitor. This is really interesting to me. Irish is clearly a part of the Nopats, but who's Pack working for? My thoughts are that potentially Pack's a part of the US government and he didn't leave his post as a Marine from Battlefield 4 and he stayed in that position. Again, at this point we're not 100% sure as to why Irish actually left the US Marines and joined the Nopats and why Pack is still there. Again, this is something that we don't know, but I'm hoping that we can get answers to later on in the story. Pack then goes on to say, "How much do the Nopats pay you to fuck over your own country?" Irish responds to this by saying that his loyalty is with the refugees on the Exodus boat, essentially saying that he cares about the people on the boat and not the country which has betrayed him. Again, we don't know exactly why he's left the Marines or why he's not fighting for his country, but that's the sort of atmosphere you get after he's finished speaking with Pat. Irish is then told that Oz is 20 clicks out and is coming for the device that they retrieved. Now bear in mind, this is the most wanted man alive right now. What is so important that this man has to go literally on an Osprey himself to physically get to the ship and get this device? Like, what's so important about this device? Pack then says something to Irish as he's about to leave the room.
"Listen, if you give Oz that case, that fucking terrorist will start World War III.
Irish is used to the press and the government giving the Nopats a bad name, but he's fighting for the people and believes Oz is too. We then cut to a scene where Irish and Rayo was again introduced in Journey of the Nopats as a Indian hacker, who actually find out a little bit more information about what's actually on this device. Rayo passes the drive to Irish and it shows a map. Rayo then says, "America have an experimental weapon that is about to fall out of the sky at these coordinates in 36 hours. They're desperate to recover their dirty little secret. If Russia get this first, it will spark a war." Irish then responds, "Fuck, we can't let this maniac get his hands on those coordinates. Pakowski was right." Again, I want to give a little bit of a backstory here real quick. Again, with Battlefield 2042, the conflicts between three factions, US, Russia, and the Nopats. Obviously, the US have an experimental weapon. It's dropping out of the sky. Russia, if they get their hands on that experimental weapon, it's World War III. But the Nopats want to be relevant and they don't want to be forgotten, which means Oz is going to try and get the coordinates and intercept this weapon and basically have every government bow down to his feet because of this one weapon. That's what I'm getting out of it, and I believe that's where we're going with the story in this. Oz's men are approaching fast in 3 Ospreys and will not stop until he gets what he wants, the device. "We have civilians on board," Rayo said. "We don't have enough manpower. I don't think we have a choice." Irish orders Rayo to head straight into the Category 5 Storm to try and lose Oz's men in the Ospreys. A short time later, as Irish commands the ship to go into the Category 5 Storm, Oz senses that the deal to hand over the package was off, and the boat steered into the storm. The Ospreys open fire onto the Exodus with immediate effect whilst driving into the Category 5 Storm. The Storm takes down 2 of the Ospreys in the process whilst Irish is defending the ship at all costs. Irish is then under fire on the Osprey whilst trying to take it out with a javelin and jumps onto the landing pad where he receives a communication from Oz. I'm disappointed in you, Irish. I thought we were on the same team. This is where a man walks out, which again is a part of Oz's faction, with Irish's son in his hand with a gun pointed directly to his head. Then Oz goes on to say, do you know who the Ronin were, Irish? They were warriors with no country, no cause. That's how they see us. The world wants to forget we exist. Give us the intel and we will force them to see. Irish hands over the intel to Oz. Irish then says, if you start this war, millions of no-pats will die in the crossfire. Oz then goes on to respond, that's the price we pay for a new world. Oz then gave the order to execute Irish's son, whilst the camera then pans to the dinosaur hitting the ground that Irish found earlier on in the trailer, before then panning to the soldier being shot into the head by my fucking man Pukowski. Absolute boss man, oh my god, just fucking love this guy. The two then cross eyes, Pukowski gives Irish the nod, then Oz executes Pukowski. Irish dashes to save his son before Oz can finish them off too, before finding cover behind a cargo container. Irish then jumps out and dashes for a javelin and manages to take out the Osprey, laying down the fire on them. It then cuts to a scene where Irish confirms Pac's death by ripping off his dog tags, and he's had those dog tags, looks as though, since the days of the squads back in Battlefield 4, which yeah, is an emotional moment and homage to that game. It pans back to the device and shows that the message/coordinates had been sent to Oz already. Oz then states, history will remember this, Irish, before Irish says, and so will I. Such a cool scene, man. Irish is then on the radio to as many no-pats commanders as possible. There's only one way to stop this war, and that's to get in the middle of it. Put a call out to any no-pats who will listen. 36 hours to Doha. Get ready to fight. I mean, geez, man, this just gives us so much information and detail around the conflicts within the no-pats, just the way that the leaders want the power, and the other factions like the other governments such as Russia and the US. Bro, it really gives us some information about how Oz works, his motives, what he wants to do, along with the way that the no-pats and some leaders within the no-pats such as Irish believe that the no-pats should be run. Some of the main points I gathered from this trailer was this quote right here, where it says, do you know who the Ronin were, Irish? They were warriors with no country, no cause. That's how they see us. The world wants to forget we exist. Give us the intel and we'll force them to see. Oz wants world domination. Oz wants everyone on the globe to know who the no-pats are, to know who the leader of the no-pats are, and to know that they can't mess with them. That's ideally what he wants to happen right now. And that's the reason why they want this nuclear weapon. They want to be able to say they've got this and basically pursue dominance on all of the other countries across the globe. And again, that's Oz's motives. He wants to be the most powerful, most dominant faction in the world, and essentially he's going to do whatever it takes to get there. As Irish mentions, millions of people and no-pats are going to die in the crossfire of trying to actually become the most powerful faction in the world. And again, Oz replies, that's the price we pay for a new world. So yeah, interesting stuff, guys. I'm going to do another video covering a couple of other things as well, such as the lore of Irish and just explaining a little bit more detail around him and what we can expect. Potentially another video on the lore of Battlefield 4, how it ends and how it links into this. And then also a full explanation on the journey of the no-pats, because it does say at the end, it's 36 hours to Doha, and the first part of Journey of the No-Pats actually takes place in Doha. So I'm thinking potentially that those bits of communication are after the Exodus short film, and then the continuation of Kayvan Bashir, who was the journalist writing the Journey of the No-Pats, is actually documenting that after this has took place. So yeah, it'd be interesting to find that out. But guys, let me know what you think down below. Thank you for the support on the previous video. It's been just absolutely amazing, guys. I really can't thank you enough. Really excited about Battlefield 2042, so subscribe if you guys are brand new. Drop a like on today's video if you are excited. I'm very excited about it, and yeah, it's been fun, guys. We'll see you all in the next one.